Well, we finally got to the lake. Not our first lake of choice. And I can hear Daryl right now. He's going back to the truck to get the auger because we couldn't fit it on the 2 sleds we brought out. So he's on his way back, gonna get the auger. We've picked a spot for the hut, based largely on the fact that it's not slushy in this spot. It's been quite the day. Yeah, it's been quite the day. Fun. Like, did lots of exploring, looked at a lot of places, and traveled more than we meant to, and didn't get any fishing done yet. So, good thing we have a bit of extra time this weekend. Oh, sleepy Erzy.
You should put that light over there if you want it to happen. Just so you know.
Okay.
If you want to be all professional.
All right, so our first night of our 2-night camping trip, and we were planning to go to a lake near Gogama, and that didn't work. We did a lot of driving, like 8 hours in the end. And the lake that we wanted to go to just did not have any parking space. You tried.
I tried, yeah.
It just,
There's going to be a lot of work too.
yeah.
The park there.
It wasn't really going to work. So we decided to turn around. We checked out a couple other lakes. You stopped at that one lake and went down. And it was nicely cleared. Somebody had got the snowblower out and cleared that. That was awesome.
Yeah, too bad the lake wasn't as good.
Yeah, so you said what, like 2 feet of snow or something on it? And
at least 1.5 feet of snow with lots of slush underneath.
Yeah, so we decided to pass on that one since we're trying to sleep on the lake. And we came back to a group of lakes we know and decided to spend the night here. Well, next 2 nights here. And we got lucky because no one's on this lake at the moment.
No.
Probably will have a few people out here tomorrow, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It was nice to get out here. It was a new experience. We brought the snowmobiles. And it was definitely different to have to drive out to a lake with them, with the dogs running behind us. So that worked, surprisingly.
Yep, worked pretty good.
So it was, did you prefer having the snowmobiles for getting the gear out?
Yeah.
It would have been nasty to drag that all today.
Yeah.
It's hard enough just walking around out there.
Well, you get anywhere near shore out here right now, and it's 1.5 feet. Out in the middle, not so bad.
So yeah, we're just set up in the hut for the night. You got a minnow down.
Yep.
Trying to see, we're in like 45 feet of water, trying to see if we can catch something. Tried to go shallower, but shallower is a lot of slush, so not happening. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
You look ready for bed.
I'm getting there, yes. Been a long day.
Everybody's sleepy. Molly, you good over there? Oh, I see Erzy wagging a tail. That's the most you've moved in ages.
It's because you said somebody else's name. Now she's jealous.
So we brought a 3rd cot this time because we didn't want the dogs sleeping on the ground. And it's actually not too bad right now. We decided to leave the snow. So we're just getting some melt from the snow that was on top. And there's a little fishing corner. We'll set it up better tomorrow, but today's been a long day. So it is now Sunday morning. Daryl's outside drilling some holes. We're gonna get some tip-ups going. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. We all slept pretty well last night, except for me possibly because Panda slept at the foot of my cot all night and I could not move around. It was like my feet were kind of stuck. But we're gonna try and do a bunch of fishing today. Dogs are having breakfast right now. We'll have breakfast and hopefully we'll catch something. If not, we're sleeping on the ice, camping, so it's pretty awesome anyway.
We got a bit of a whiteout here today. I was gonna go for a little bit of a snowmobile ride and I walked out of the ice hut to this. So I guess I'm gonna stay put for a little while longer.
It's after lunch snoozy time. Still no fish because they don't like to bite. Hut is working awesome. We have stuff everywhere. Table really helps with meals. You putting a chip up in that hole? Okay. You guys heading back without me? Oh, you guys. Molly. So Gerald's taking one load back to the truck now. We had a nice morning. It was freezing cold overnight, like -30. And then we decided to go out and check out another area we really wanted to fish. It's a little shallower, drop off, bit of a feeding flat there. We saw some guys fishing there yesterday. And we had really wanted to fish there when we got here, but with the wind the way it was, we had to set up where we were well protected, which is where we ended up. And honestly, we're pretty sure we must have had burbot taking our minnows overnight because we lost a ton of minnows last night and didn't have any fish to show for it. And then today there just hasn't been much going on. So sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. It's a brand new lake for us, so I'm not worried. We had a lot of fun. We had a long night last night trying to stay warm. But it all worked out. I mean, we were fine in the sleeping bags. It's just everything gets so darn chilly. So we were trying to keep that heat going and keep the dogs a little warmer since they don't like crawl into their sleeping bag. They normally just sleep on top of it on their cot. So yeah, Daryl's taking a load back now. He needs to get the hammer because we're having trouble getting the hut out of the ice now. Everything has melted in. We did get all the anchors out, but yeah, gonna need that hammer to get the rest of the hut out. I've got the dogs in here just so that they didn't try to follow him back. They normally won't. They're normally stuck to my side a little more, so if I'm staying, they'll stay. But I figured if we come in here, it's a little warmer. Molly's getting older, so I try to keep her warm. And then he'll come back with the hammer. We'll get the hut down, take the rest of the stuff in, and I hear him now. He's going around the other side of the lake, so that means he made it up the hill okay. We were a little worried about that. This lake is like a bowl, and so there's steep sides coming in. Not crazy steep, but steep enough that if you've got a snowmobile with a whole pile of crap and a trailer behind it, we weren't really sure how well that would do. So he's made it up. That's good. That's not the heavy load. The heavy load will be when the hut's in, but a bunch of the other stuff's gone, so that should make it not so bad. So yeah, so I mean, we had an awesome trip, and I wish we could have caught some fish, but that's okay. It doesn't always work, but we did get to go camping for 2 nights. We got ourselves a long weekend. We each had booked today off of work. And so now we're, you can hear the dogs. This is Molly's way of playing. I'll take them outside, let them run around while we're waiting for Daryl to come back. Make sure my sled's loaded up and ready to go. And yeah, that'll be another adventure. It's been a great time. For anyone who doesn't know, ice huts do have vents built into them. So we have 2. We have one here and one on the other side. And if I had taken a picture, like last night or this morning, taking a video or a picture, you would have seen the steam, like the hot air just rushing out of it. So they do work pretty well. If we feel like that's not enough ventilation, we just crack the door a bit, just open the zipper up a little bit to get a bit more air in. But yeah, so ice huts are great for having vents, and always before you ever start a heater, make sure your vents are open. So winter camping with snowmobiles. I feel like, I know some people who would say that's cheating. You're kind of like not really getting the whole winter camping. And honestly, I wouldn't say we're necessarily doing winter camping. We're doing ice camping. We're coming out here on the ice with 3 dogs, the 2 of us, and hoping to catch some fish. And if not, we're at least fishing the whole time. The snowmobiles make life so much easier. It's I love them so much. Like, these are not new sleds. We bought them used. Actually, after our last camping trip, where we both thought, okay, dragging all this out is going to get really difficult again when we have a pile of snow. So we decided to, actually, the day we got home, the next day from the camping trip, I messaged a lady about these sleds, and they're not new. They're pretty old now, but they do awesome. They're in great shape. We got super lucky, and the people that we bought them from absolutely loved them. I mean, we've been in touch. I've shared pictures so that they could see them running. They really didn't want to let them go, but they just aren't getting out anymore. So we have them and we love them. They're a lot of fun to have. So one of my favorite things about being out here is just being out here. we always try to go somewhere not super close to home. Like, if we had awesome places that we could go close to home, we would. But a lot of the lakes that you can go ice fishing close to home are either super busy or there's just really not much in them, like tiny perch. At least when we come here, even if we don't catch anything, there is a good chance of catching other things. There's stocked fish in this lake. There's other lakes close by that are stocked. That's why we make the trip, but also just the scenery. Like, it is beautiful here. It's amazing. To be perfectly honest, I would love to move up to this area if we could ever make it work. It's just, up here, there's so many fishing opportunities. There's so many logging trails that can get you back into other places. Lots of cool places to look for camping spots, lots of cool fishing spots, lots of stocking. And like, these lakes that we're on are definitely a little busier. They're a little more well known, it seems. The access isn't too hard. That's probably why. But yeah, it's awesome up here. So getting even just, the 3 days we had, a couple nights, even not catching anything, it's so worth it. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's so cool to be here. And I love it. It's this whole exploring thing. I don't know what really happened, but in the last year or so, I more so, because Daryl's always been really into the exploring and going out and camping, and I've been into the fishing ever since we ended up together, but the exploring and the camping wasn't as big of a thing for me. And then last year a switch was flipped, and all of a sudden it became, nope, we're camping as much as we can, we're exploring as much as we can, we're getting out as much as we can, and it's been awesome.